Hello and welcome to my first ever Fighterdiet Academy meeting. This is where I want to share you about how to actually get lean. And it's like the same thing everyone asks all the time. I want to get lean. And then everyone wants to be lean until you get hungry. And then what do you do? My specialty is I talk about what happens when you get hungry, because that is my specialty. My whole life, I made it into solve the problem I had. I wanted to be lean, I wanted to be strong, but I had this big appetite, and those two things didn't click. And growing up in fitness, it was just the way it is, that you have to know to be on willpower, and you're gonna kind of just not eat and just have this kind of meal plan of broccoli and chicken to get in show shape. And then after that, it was like in maintaining, that was everyone's kind of thing we're gonna do, but nobody could do it. And then I thought, like, why isn't anyone trying to do it? And then it was like everyone's laughing at me for wanting to be lean all the time, and they're like, oh, like this is the community Sweden, the gym culture, everyone's stoic here. And everyone was laughing at my little fitness toddler, because I didn't know, why can't you build muscle, burn fat, and be happy? Why do you have to like kind of struggle and hate your life? So that was the start of Fighterdiet. I had just this big appetite, like massive appetite, that I had to manage in order to get the lean body that I wanted, that I wasn't born with. So I talk about a lot about that. You know, we have bodies and dream bodies and real bodies. My real body was like a Shetland pony. I love Shetland ponies. But you know, the body's like this kind of sturdy and strong, thrifty, you know, doesn't require that much hay. But that also means I could never eat, because it just make me fat. I want to be a thoroughbred horse that is shredded and lean and strong. That is Fighterdiet. That is kind of the kind of spirit. Just to think about when you have a dream body and you want to work that, because how you feel when you're like strong, it's addicting. Oh, sorry, the laser got on here. Hold on. Golfer's elbow and tennis elbow, so stop it. Life happens. Okay, good. Sorry about that. So I want to explain a little bit just before you kind of fall asleep about how Fighterdiet works and what is different to other diets. So Fighterdiet is like the antidote to diet. Diet life is, if you think about how women love to be on a diet, like it doesn't love to, but we have been conditioned by culture that women are just on a diet. That's what women do. We are put on a diet on our own, or a mom, or a girlfriend, or something. And that's how we live our lives. And I know that because it's pretty much two ways. People who have never had an interest in diets because they just ate what they needed and didn't make a big deal. And then we have the other crowd who once thought about their body and the impact of diet and then changed it a little bit. And then what happened? Either they living in a diet prison, hate their bodies, or have like skinny, or they're super fat and can't get out of that, all or nothing. So we have like different kind of problems with eating. When you want to get lean and want to build muscle, you are going to face this thing of hunger. What are you going to do with your hunger? That is the difference between all other things you can work for in life to achieve versus fitness goals. Oh, the sirens in here too, sister. What is the problem then with being on a diet? Like, what is the issue? Everyone asks, why? Why can't I just be on this discipline? Like, I know how to eat, I know how to train. What's wrong with me, right? That is what everyone ends up with. You want to be strong and lean, and then your mind rebels. That's human nature. So here's the thing. You're going to learn that bodybuilding is kind of like the same problem with rest of humanity, that we want one thing and then we want another. We want all, we want, you know, can't have it all, then we don't want nothing. We don't know how to strike a balance. All my clients who come to me have the same problem. That they wonder, I want to find balance in being fit and strong. Every time I try to make something with fitness, it's either overwhelming, or I get injured, or I just broken and I feel discouraged and I just give up. Overwhelmingness. So how do you handle that? That is why we do Fighterdiet. Fighterdiet is my brainchild, is my savior, and I'm not religious. I'm just saying that I made my own life mission my reality because I'm just too stubborn to not be able to eat. Like I was mad at people for, being okay with starving until forever. And here I come in trying to make women want to eat. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? My whole life I had to starve, and now I have given you the way to eat and you don't want to? Why? Why are you scared of eating big? What I talk about, this prevent overeating by overeating. What is that? Why are you so scared of filling up your stomach with healthy food when that is exactly what gets you in trouble, right? But you're doing that on your own when you are too stressed out, and there you go into your cocaine, the junk food. That is what you end up doing, right? That is what we end up with, trying to resist the temptations to be lean, trying to follow a meal plan. We know we should want this, and then we struggle with doing it. We don't want to what we want to do, and there's like a conundrum, and you wonder what's wrong with me again. And if you ask any normal person who's not into getting lean, have ever tried to get lean, they're going to be like every imbecile you ask. Okay, I cannot stop laughing. That is this. Why don't you just eat less? I'm like, oh my God, where do I even start? It's like, it's so hard to understand what hunger does to you when you're getting leaner. If you've never been hungry, and most people have never been hungry, you just have an appetite. And that is another kind of lesson. You just come into fitness life and just realize, whoa, I thought I was new about myself. Like, you don't know who you're dealing with. When you're trying to get leaner, you know what is upregulated? Your fat cells' interest in eating. Yes, they're opening up. The shop is open. It's like 24/7. Hallelujah. Because when you are suddenly making yourself aware that all things you eat and train, everything you do in your life will impact your results with your body, you gotta be like, like walking on eggshells. If you don't know what works and what doesn't, that's why you go for all these fad diets, because you trust what the herd is doing. Makes sense. What most people do is what you should do. In diets, it's a big fat no. You should do what nobody dares to do. What we Fighterdiet do. We do what gets us in trouble. POBO. What is POBO? POBO is prevent overeating by doing exactly that, by overeating. But how does it work? So then you wonder, like, well, why can't I eat up? How is that going to work? Like, if that is what gets me in trouble, I try to rely on willpower. I resist. I keep my meals up, and then in the end of the day, or like after a few days, or life happens, or I'm triggered by something, or I see a spontaneous McDonald's French fry flying by me or something. And then all of a sudden, it's like, I don't know what to do with myself, because I didn't know, right? You didn't know what was going to happen. All of a sudden, your hunger is massive. And if you've been a typical diet person now, been compliant, so good little student, right? Eating your meals, training, thinking, focus. And then you have been so good student that after some time, you're finally going to have a reward, a cheat meal. And a cheat meal is an offensive term in my mind, because it means, who are you cheating? So we change it into treating, because cheating is it's a whole mentality, stupid. Like, you're not cheating anyone. Who got the fat from the calories? The fat cells. So yeah, we're not getting away. Then, if you haven't trained and practiced moderation, what I talk about, the refeeds, right? The dessert, the dream body, and how we eat, resist the temptation, then fall for it. I tell you to indulge. Then here you go, gullibly to your favorite place. If it's tender chicken, or I don't know, White Castle chicken, I don't know, whatever place it is. But here you have the best intention. And you know me, coach, you want to make me proud, right? And okay. Oh, am I muting myself now? No, okay. So then you are having the best intentions to go and just eat. And I'm saying, I know you believe that you have trained so well. You have eaten your meals. You know what to do. You have all the right intentions, but little darling, you're gonna be slapped in the face by your unknowing territories that you haven't walked into your mind with a deep, deep, dark abyss, right? And that is when you notice you can't stop. You were planning on just having one chip, like one French fry. That is the limit. That is, you having the carrot, but it all is planned theory-wise. You made a plan. Now you can't even keep it. You made a plan, and now there's rebellion, and you're like, what is wrong with me? Now you're gonna notice how all your taste buds have become super sensitized. They're like, you haven't had sex for 5 years, and you're a man, and you're 18 years old, no, maybe 25, and you're an island, and all the Playboy models of your dreams are there, and you think you're not gonna get an erection? You think you're gonna be able to not do anything in your private? No, you're human. So then you notice you can't hold back. It's just too delicious. It's like cocaine. Have you heard of heroin addicts who just go and kind of have a little bit and then go back to regular and just have no problem? No. And the reason why you don't consider junk or eating whatever gets you into feeling disgusted about yourself, that why you're doing this, it's not good for you, it's not healthy, and it's bad for the planet. It's bad in all ways, but you still go for it because it's evil. And evil is something that humans love. We can't handle it. And that is another reason that you are in my challenge, because I teach you that if you want to have these fights that you can't resist, you know what you're going to do? Make it forbidden fruit. There you go. Now you're going to see how your whole mind makes it. That's the mission, to dominate over your little, I'm going to be so good. I'm going to be lean. I'm going to eat healthy. I don't have to like life. I just have to be lean. That's not true, because your ego is going to say, oh, we're going to make sure we know. Because you have never really given up on the utopia that one day you're going to have it your way. You're going to be able to eat whatever you want and not get fat. You haven't really accepted that that's not going to come. So you have no reason to learn moderation with indulgences. So when you don't have an interest, don't ever need to learn moderation, you know what happens? Every time you try to treat or indulge, you're going to go all out, because you have always made it into a forbidden thing in your life. You're not allowed. And everything that isn't allowed is what people are going to want. So if you have a partner who keeps on cheating on you, if you gave that person like, yeah, cheat away, I don't care. Would they? You would want to start thinking a little bit, because making a block a prison is what keeps you there. That's why people keep on going back to diets that they hated. Why they keep on being slave to do what never worked. Because humans are addicted to doing what you know but isn't working, but you can believe in it a little bit, because it wins you a little time. You can stall from actually going inwards and see, what am I doing over and over that I deny to see the reality, because it's too tough for me. So I'd rather just kind of sell this story about what I'm about, how I do it, and I don't need this, and I don't know that. And it's all bull. It's all bull, because who ends up never being happy? The person who never wants to be honest. So to summarize this thing, what I teach you, and this is a continuous education, because trust me, it does not matter how much you want to know it all. This is nothing you can live before you have lived it. You have to really have moment. This is today. This is what you do today to focus, to stay strong. And it's the eating and the training and the mindset. So, POBO, prevent overeating by overeating, is terrifying for people who have been coming in from macro obsession, keto thing, water fasting, weight loss, whatever you have there. Because the thing is, all these things work. People are going to say this. They say to me all the time, I know how to eat. I got lean and I got in show. So, like that kind of attitude. I'm like, so why didn't you keep it? And they're like, yeah, exactly. You have no boomerang to tell me, because if you know how to do it, why didn't you stick to it? So there you go. I don't want to be right, but I am. Yeah, I want you to be happy. So when we learn that you are not happy doing the all or nothing and can't keep it together, and then kind of walk away from my community and don't interact, pretend life happened, because you're going to kind of, work it at your own, and then come back a few weeks later when you have undone the damage. Do you want to live like that? That's what I mean. You're living in a closet, like private, and you don't feel good about it. Because people who do that, they have a kind of a transparent life, but they also have a hidden life. Everyone is kind of a different kind of like that. But the more you kind of try to be better than you are, as in, I want to be my ideal me, but I'm not, but I pretend, the more you're going to notice how you're suffering in communities and being around other people. You're just going to be bitter, angry, can't support other women, hate on all posts, don't think that they should strut their gains because you're just angry with yourself. So how to get from that is just to realize that about yourself. Like, okay, I haven't done really what I need to do for my body. I've been shaming myself. I've been guilting. I have put on expectations that are beyond what I should do. So it's time to just start over and see, okay, what can I work on? One level at a time. That's how you build a great relationship, because all this is the relationship with yourself. The marriage to yourself starts with life. And what fuels life? Nutrition. So you see how everyone is kind of downing the game. It's like, it doesn't really, what is it such a big deal? It is. Because how are people are starving and have no food? Are they kind of happy-go-lucky, just like chill? No, they're not. That's how you become. You are playing recession. The third is like depression. All that, like trying to run an economy, the whole world, in your body, in your mind. That's what you're trying to do when you're changing your body composition. You just don't realize. You're playing like universe. You are everything. And that's what you do. You do the Bill and Burr. So how we do this is we study the rhythm of your appetite and your hunger. Hunger is a feeling of needing to eat, to be alive, to fuel all your functions. Hunger is something that people don't know the difference between that and having an interest, an appetite, moreish, to eat. Hunger is physical. Appetite is psychological. If you never learn how to eat to satisfy you physically, you will always have the appetite and make you gain to be obese, because you never get satisfied. It's almost like, I love to talk about sex because it's like, for me, it's very like close to heart. So think about this. If you never learn how to satisfy and get this satisfaction as in a refeed, like a big eat up 3,000 calorie refeed, just to be really stuffed like a gluttonous pig, and I say that with all the love. I'm the gluttonous pig. We call me that. Everyone knows nobody can out-eat me. I can eat for 10 people in vegetables. So when I say that and I have a big belly and all that, it's all loving. It's not shaming. So if you get, oh, I don't like that talk, you can't be around me. You got to raise your tolerance level a little bit, because this is all about, you need to know in fitness life. So when you learn to eat up, that's to prevent overeating by overeating. You do that and you notice what happens to the appetite. It's so easy to manage an appetite when you're full. But if you've never been full, always feel like you can have more. It's like you're living in a world where you, at some point, are just going to break. And you're going to go and just go straight into just having it. You don't even think. It's going to happen. It happens to everyone. And a lot of clients have so high, like they believe, so they have their ego in the highest level, which mine is on the bottom, right? Like I know myself. Most people don't. So if you come from a type A personality, like you were grown up, raised to be a type A, high performance, always having a list to do, never, always be busy. And if you're not doing something, accomplishing, you have like no reason to be alive. It's like that kind of mentality. Like you have to perform. Being is not enough. Being happy is not enough either. You have to be productive. Yes, you're not productive person in society, but you don't have to be happy. If you come from that, it can keep you in diet prison and gym culture until you die, because you're so loyal. And that sounds good, but it's not, because it's almost like I talk about the infidel, like you were growing up a fitness community. This is how we eat. This is what we do. This is what we train. And when you can't do it anymore, you feel weak. You feel like you're getting older, and people are going to shame you like that. Like this kind of subliminal messaging of, ooh, you're not as strong as when you were younger. Like, oh, how are you going to handle this? All that stuff. That's why I preserve the mentality and the happiness with my warrior community, because I know all that's going on. And I don't want to be part of it. I don't want you to be exposed to it. So I'm trying to kind of raise you up on my own, like being a mother for you. You need it in this world. You need to make yourself so strong so you understand. I forgot about the sex thing. I have to tell you. If you never learn to get off, so you're satisfied to get that like, oh, and then start over, right? You are always going to have that moreish, I need to. It's like building up to climax and never get off. Do you want to live your life like that? That is how I feel all diets are, especially keto. Especially keto. Keto is like never get off, ever. Yeah. So the rhythm of appetite and rhythm of hunger, you're going to notice that for some people it's in the morning, for some people at night, for some people it's all day, for some people it's never at all, and then all of a sudden. You have to take notes because you are studying the most important player in your book and your life. That's you. And you don't know, because I know you're also busy with your career and your spouses and your family and your gardens and your houses and careers. So you have never paid attention to who is this person that I am apparently in this life. Now, this is brought up to the surface in fitness. So how come? Why is it that when you're trying to get fit and strong, why is it that when you're going to notice that all your bad traits are coming up to the surface, you're the bad bitch all the time to yourself? Why? Why can't you be kind and nice and just smile? Because you never had anyone who told you, oh, can't have that because you want to get lean. Sorry, you never had it before, because when you have a career, you can kind of eat chocolate and chocolate milk and everything at the same time and just like play, like when I made my best fat loss plans, when I was like really into my tsunami waves, I call those the eat everything inside cheat meal and then forget about it, believe that I'm never going to do it again. It's not true. So when you are really eating all the junk, you are super motivated to work hard. So you're going to make all those plans and then just to get fatter and never make the plan out in real life. So basically, when you have me in your fighter diet kind of practice, it's good to know this. It's a lifestyle. You're going to learn every day something new about yourself and how you're going to do it better and better and better. Prevent overeating by overeating is the number one thing that is going to stop you from reverting back and sabotage. This is what you are scared of doing, eating up because you go by the scale. When you eat more volume, whatever it is, if it's water or vegetables, and if you step on the scale the moment after, it's going to be acutely higher. I don't want you to pay attention, because if I drink a gallon of water now and stand on the scale, it's going to show. It doesn't mean anything changed. You have to know actions lead to the consequence. That's why we do the count the days. That's the program I say. If you want to get lean, you have to start keeping yourself accountable. Day 1, day 2, day 3. So there's enough days on fat loss mode before you sabotage. And now you're not going to sabotage anymore, because you're going to eat and refeed because it's part of the practice. This is not what I say. You don't have to, because, you want to get lean, so you don't have to refeed. Because that kind of personality always have the problem that you never get to where you get to deserve your refeed, because you always treat yourself or help yourself a little bit. Don't pay attention to calorie budget. That's also a thing. And what is this calorie budget? I'm going to teach you about this in this FDA. Calorie budget is the range of calories that is designed to make you achieve a healthy body weight range for your body size. Like you're a mammal like me. You're just a regular person. You are going to be like a cat, like an elephant, or like a rat. You're going to have a typical weight range that needs a certain amount of calories, and that's it. And then you multiply it, and there you go. And I'm not the kind of coach who's going to tell you that start with this calorie level and then cut until you have no calories left. Because that is how you end up yo-yo eating and regaining all the fat and then some. So with me, the difference in how I coach you versus other coaches is I make you more and more compliant, better and better, as in training, almost like you're an athlete in this. So if you think about this practice in eating compliance, in discipline and master your mind to master your body, it's a sport, it's a practice, it's a meditation, it's a routine. You keep on working every day in mindset, because this is a skill that requires you to work it daily. And you're going to be like me, 24, 25 years into it, I still have to work on it, because if I stop working what keeps me strong, I'm going to become weakened. For instance, yesterday I had my Shock Zero treats. I have been keeping myself accountable, saying I was not planning on this, because I don't want myself to kind of make myself a second should I have this plan or not? Don't go back on your plan. Plan it, make the plan, keep to it, to teach yourself accountability. I do it too. So I lead by showing how to do it. The calorie budget is one thing. What you put into the calorie budget is the second. And these are not like whatever, it doesn't matter. That is only an imbecile's way of thinking about it. When you understand that when you eat the way Fighterdiet does, we teach you the foods we are prioritizing. This is what you eat big of. This is only what you have in refeed. This is holy cow fitness glorified junk food, I call that. What do we eat on a regular basis versus not? You're going to notice how much food you end up with on your calorie budget to get lean that you could never have if you only eat junk food. So when you notice my Fighterdiet recipe app that I have the devil's advocate game, that is not to show you that you should go and eat McDonald's crap. No. But I'm just teaching you that there's no excuse, honey bun. You can go and have your McDonald's because life happened and you couldn't handle, you didn't food prep, you have to have your French fries. Yeah. I'm saying, yeah, so there you go. You have a calorie budget. Now what is going to happen? It teaches you to, hey, wait, before you listen to your spontaneous mind. Because if you don't look, a Hershey's Kiss is 250 calories. That is like, oh no, I have to count. But if your calorie budget is like 1,500 calories, you see how dumb I am about this? I want to count cash and calories. So either way, it's a big, big part. 250 calories is 2 pounds of cabbage, but it's 1 Hershey's Kiss. So you can play the game, but I'm going to say one more thing. Real food like Fighterdiet that we can eat big, and you don't really have to be such a slave on these calories. You're going to notice how much you can eat and how that makes you fat and how you eat more. And that's causing the thermic effect of food. And that is the motivation to actually want to eat healthy and big and to be stuffed and then complain that you're so full. Oh, you're so full. It's going to be so hard to not eat when you're so satisfied. How are you going to stay on this diet plan that has chocolate and you love chocolate when you're so full? Right? Yeah. You start to wonder, what are you going to complain about next? But I've heard it. Now you're going to notice because you're planning and you're following the calorie budget, you're focusing on nutrition. You're focusing on actually the content of food, not just to get away with it. So you are actually prioritizing health now, which shows you have increased your awareness of what is health and fitness about. You're not a little fitness toddler anymore about, I'm going to just get the little sexy body now and then I'm going to sabotage it later. No, because you care more. You are a grown adult woman. You care about health more than you care about looks. But the irony is that that is the first time you're ever going to be having your looks. And now you're going to notice that, oh, I wish I knew this when I was 20. It took me 40 years, right? So that is kind of the summary of to see how to get lean is to follow the calorie budget and to learn to eat up big before you go back and think I should eat something that, start over next. No. Number 2 is always ask yourself, do I want to remember that I ate this today, that I chose this today when I wake up tomorrow? Do I want that? You will not be able to say, yes, I'm going to be happy eating this cupcake and this Ben & Jerry's and these granola bars tomorrow when I want to get lean. No, it's not going to happen. So if you can teach yourself that honesty is the right policy, you're going to save yourself a lot of wasted time doing cardio and fat burning on the stuff you ate the day before. And then 3rd is to understand that you got to learn how to refeed so you can actually be stuffed and see what happens with your hunger and appetite and how you don't really want to go back to junk food and sedentary life and hang out with your friends who are gonna die soon from heart attack if they don't change their life anyway. So so that is all about. So now it's 30 minutes in and I have the people here. I'm at your service. This is now an open ask anything. Anyone who wants to ask or have had an issue, is there something that gets you in trouble? Have you had any problem with nutrition, adherence, anything? So now it's an open call here. I see Pavel. Do you have a question, Pavel?
No, I don't. I was just ready to interact.
So I see there's 2 others here. Lena Flores, and then we see that's my badass. What's Elise? So I know these 2 people. So Lena is a mentor, and Elise has been a badass. Hey, I see you down there. I didn't see. I saw it too here. Hey, Elise, do you have a question?
I do have a question. So my question is this, and I have been a health coach for about 10 years, and I'm having an issue, not with myself, because I think I had discussed with you my issue with OCD and everything, which is probably why I'm so easily being able to stay on track with everything.
Yeah.
However, getting my clients and in the place that I work, and even though we're just a training center, it is hard when there is so much easy shortcuts for people to take and the bullshit that everybody keeps telling them. And they think that I'm coming from a place of just trying to get them into me, to get them to train with me and to work with me. When there's other people in there, like I think I had put on the post once that everybody was admiring this one girl's body. Meanwhile, this girl has had extensive plastic surgery and she's telling everybody, I'm natural. I've never done anything, just eat like a little watermelon and a piece of chicken. And like they honestly think I'm lying when I describe the amounts of food that I consume, and showing them bowls isn't even enough. So how do you get beyond that to bring people in? Because that's the problem I'm having, because I tout this. I mean, I've been following you since 2013. So anybody who thinks, and you can see, like, you know how lean I am, they think you have an eating disorder. They really don't believe that you're eating like this. So it's like, how do you get them to see it? And then when they see you and I show them it, they're like, oh, that's just some kind of cult. It's like, are you kidding me? So where the fuck do you go after that when you're trying to explain to these people, when I live so close to New York City where it's plastic surgery mecca and they do everything so cheap? So to make a long story short, how do you get beyond that?
Great, really great lesson. At least I can just relate 100% to your frustration with people. I completely get it. There's a reason why I don't want to be in a gym, because I don't want to hear the same. Because if I have to hear it, then it's part of my life. I'm like, I don't even want. This is like so stupid. Like, am I gonna listen to the same thing until I die, and people never gonna learn? And I'm just like, okay. So, number one is that I think soon, I mean, this is just my theory, I think that the plastic ambition has become so much of everything that everyone looks so same that there's no uniqueness anymore. And I feel like that is the worst thing you can do to have marketing. It's gonna be the flip side now, because everyone has molded themselves in being, this is what we should be. And now what is now is be unique, because there's only one person in the whole universe who is you. You're just like everyone else, but you bring here to the world what you are, and now you're gonna be plastic. It's very easy to see when you're like so pretty. It's like, it's crazy. That is kind of a little, for me, it's a turn off. Like, I don't really care about the beauty, because when it's too beautiful, it becomes boring. And that's what you see in AI. It's like you're blown away. You don't even know how to interpret it, because it's a beyond human nature, because it's not human. So that's why. So when you deal with your people and clients and they don't believe in you, there are two things. One is that you're not 100% living the way so they actually follow you 24/7. They don't know. So they have to trust you on this. And here comes that. People who don't trust other people is usually because they don't trust themselves, or they know they're lying. So how you know yourself, you know others. So they are just going to assume that you are just like them. That's the same thing. I get so mad at everyone who just assumed I was taking steroids because I'm at Ghost Gym. And then people backstage, right, when we competed, like, so what drugs are you on? Like, excuse me? And I'm like, here? And they're like, oh yeah, next season I'm gonna be natural. I'm like looking at them like, it was so weird. I'm like, you telling me this is what you take? And I'm like, I was so shocked, because I'm from little Sweden, and I was natural. Like, there was no way we talked about that. And then, everyone, they take drugs there too, but that was beyond, when you're young and so on, you kind of have your naivety too. Step two is that these people who are doing the plastic surgery, they're already never gonna do the work anymore. They're not the right people for this kind of lifestyle. So they are the people who want to live it, but they don't want to do the work. It just shows that they're not the kind of person who's gonna be able to handle what it takes. So it's no different than, that meme where you see the ballerina, when you see her bleeding feet, and everyone remembers how we admire the work. And then we see the suffering and what she has in pains, because it's part of it. They don't want to have that. And I know about the shape bodies in the plastic. And I always know that, well, the trained eye can definitely pick it up. And now in competition, the physiques with the butt implants are like being called out. And I think it's hilarious, because the other day someone told me it looks like a butt implants. And it was nice to just show, hey, straighten my asses, and I'd show that. Yeah, because you cannot buy that. So these people then, if they don't trust you, and then they come to me, you show off the big, and they say it's a cult. It's people's insecurities, people's fears. They don't want to do what it is. It's no different than other people. But how are you going to handle it for you? So they're your clients, right? You don't have a responsibility to kind of convince them. It's not your life. So if you can think about it like this, present to them what you do, present to them what you're about. And when they're not making results or something, then just like, yeah, that's why, because you're making it unsustainable. But then let it be. Like, don't get angry, because this is where because you have passion, right? You care about them, and then that affects you. And the reason why it gets affected, because you wouldn't let yourself have that mindset of cheating. So you get angry that other people are okay with that mentality. But that just shows that they're lower level with their awareness. They're not up there, Elise. So instead, don't try to kind of sink down. Just know they have to level up. That's why you're with us, why you're in the tribe, because you need a place to ventilate. You can't talk to regular people. There's our Pavel and I business mentor. He said this, eagles like to fly with eagles, not ducks. You have to think like that. And it's not about elite. It's just there's a certain personality for some things and not others. So do you see what I mean? It's like, don't make it into your fight about people's laziness and an entitlement that they get away and they cheat. Because deep down, they're going to go to bed with themselves. And how are they going to feel? And how do you feel when you're not really honest with yourself? You don't really like it. So that is what they live with. Just know how they feel on the inside to make them go for all these insecurities that the whole world, they can buy. They're never going to be happy, and they're going to be filled with fears. They're going to grow old and feel really scared about being, oh my God, I can't be on camera because I'm going to be so looking old, right? Like, that is the worst thing you can do. So when you know that, isn't it easy to kind of just, I understand where they're coming from, right?
I do.
I just want to tell Ellie, say that we started doing these podcasts with our challengers, and we're done with Michelle Serda, Michelle Dunphy, and that, I think that's our way to try to over-inform people on how they can follow Fighter Diet, and it's not a cult, and they can find their own specific person. Like Michelle Dunphy has arthritis, and I do customer service for Fighter Diet, so I could refer her to that podcast, and that's what we're trying to do now, because we do see the problem. So.
Well, and here's the two. I told Elise too, because we talked a lot on the phone. And, I said like, hey, I could actually, if you want to make it easier for you to get these people on board, just have a meeting with your clients, with me on a Google meeting. We would do that. So Elise, that stands out there. You can take all these people you want to piss off and show them the right way. And I'll just do it, because they can try to kind of win on my game, but this is my expertise. There's nobody who's stronger in this game than me. There's nobody in the whole world who can do this better than I. Yes, Michelle.
I think a lot of it, Elise, that we see is lack of education and this illogical concept of I can eat so much food and still get lean. People can't wrap their minds around that, because they don't know that different foods have different calories, and they're just not educated enough on the nutrition like what we talk about in the group all the time. It is counterintuitive to tell somebody to get lean and lose fat, you have to eat a lot. People can't wrap their mind around that. In our community, we really educate people, and you get to understand and you learn to look at the different calories and stuff. But intuitively, people think I have to reduce the amount of food I eat to lose the weight and the calories.
The thing that I run into, and I do explain that to them, it's that they want it done yesterday. That's where, when I say this could take months, it could take years, it could take, it's not an overnight thing. They want a quick fix. And I'm like, and I am honest. I was like, that I cannot give you. I'm sorry, but you're not going to lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks. It's not going to happen.
So what's the problem then?
So that's where I bring you in and I say, this is the right way to do it. This is how I got here. But it's hard. I've never been overweight. So it's hard to tell somebody who's known me for a long time that what I do, I know will work for them.
Oh,
So,
I know. You know why? Because you're not walking the talk. That's the thing. That they don't see you eat big. They don't see what you do. So that's why they don't believe you. That's it. That's why you have to send them my way, at least. And then they're gonna go.
And I've like people who have been out that I still talk to from there that I've been out to eat with. They're like, that is insane. The amount of food that shows up at the table, and I'm eating my food, their food, and that food. And they're like stunned. But I was like, they're like, where are you putting it? I'm like, I'm telling you, this works.
So, yeah. So, well, it works for you and you're happy and you have a training and then do that. So again, you have to just let people be stupid then. If they don't want to listen, let them be, because you're going to get mad. And then, hey, at least if you don't learn to kind of shut them off, like they have the choice. I have presented, I lead the way, they have their own choice. If you don't make that, you become the kind of chatterbox about how other people are. And then that just goes back to you, because
I know, but then I don't have a paycheck.
I know. Exactly. No, but also when you get very angry with people about something, it's always what usually is what gets you. Like, I would not allow myself to this. For instance, one of my weaknesses that when people are not taking care of their health, when I feel like, how can you not do that when it's such so simple things, right? When people don't do that, I can get really agitated, thinking like, how can you do this? You have kids. I can get really like, and then I have to kind of, Pauline,
Yes.
This is your life. Remember, before fitness, you ate regular food. You didn't understand why people exercise. You pretended they were nerds. You looked down on people who exercise, remember? And then I have to. So it's really good to just like, hey, why am I so agitated? Observe why you're so angry, so you can actually see, oh, this is why. I would not allow myself to treat my body and my life with these choices that I see in my world. End of story. Because otherwise it's just going to be this frustration with other people, and you're alone like me. Why do you make your whole life about other people then?
Are these your clients, Elise? Or
These are clients, yeah.
Right.
Yes, Trina.
I was just going to say that when I started with Fighter Diet, and I was a personal trainer before that, so I get what you're saying. But when I started with Fighter Diet at 218 pounds, the before and afters are what did it for me, because I had never eaten big to lose weight before. I had eaten big to gain weight before, right? Not to lose it. So when I saw those before and afters, and they resonated with me, and I said, well, if they can do it, why can't I? So I think maybe if you show your clients a lot of before and afters with people who have been overweight and done it, that sometimes seeing it is the proof. And then they just have to try it for 30 days. The
best transformations have been through this group. I mean, some of the women that I've watched transform, and this has been unreal, like night and day. You're right. You're absolutely right.
So I'm going to do this, at least. You're going to do it. If you recruit warriors to me, I'll, like that, you get that back, because if you can bring one into me and, you make one healthier, you are going to make it easier. You get better testimonials, because now you just need a little bit of validation for what you do. It's no different than when I grew up. Nobody wanted to believe me. All those years when people are like, yeah, you're lean, by that's just the way you are, because they have never seen me work my way up. When I came to America, that's Pauline, that's her body. Like, no, this was 7 damn years that I put together to get this level. And I was like, that wasn't even my fattest day here now. So everything is layer on layer, right? So just know this, like, when next time when you're talking, you get frustrated, just say this. Okay, you're gonna talk to my coach. I'm gonna be on the coach. We're gonna have a video meeting. I have talked to my coach. She's in my work community, because I need you to understand what we do here. And then let me handle this for you. Because then it's just gonna be easier, and you can put that link to your clients, and then you can do mentally with love like that, because you don't want to hear them complain about how they're hungry again, right?
Sure.
So that's just so you have that option.
Michelle, go for Michelle Dunphy.
Also, though, and I say this in the group all the time, to the women that commit here, there's a reason you're called warriors. The majority of people want a quick fix. They don't want to dedicate. They don't want to learn. They don't want to change the way they live and enjoy their McDonald's. They want to take a pill and miraculously lose the fat. The women that commit in Fighter Diet and get the results are not the average population.
No.
I mean, they're just not.
I think it's really good to kind of just know that the Fighter Diet is not, it's a creme de la creme. It's a 5% of the population that want to work hard for our dreams. When we take ownership to have it like a medal of honor, it's going to motivate people to understand, oh, you want to be part of a really special, unique clique where people stay strong in a Candyland country or nation or global world, which is what we are, because in any moment you can get cheap food at speed level. You don't have impulse, it's by your door. How are people who have no training and discipline, who have learned master hunger, they have no clue. Can you imagine what that's going to happen to people if there's no education about mastering your mind? It's like that is going to be a skill that got lost in history for some time. But Fighter Diet and the warriors there, it's warriors, not whiners. So yes. So it's really good to kind of say, yeah, it's not for everyone. It's for people who want to learn and actually transcend to the highest level of themselves. Because that is where you're going to be able to kind of really love your life and not be a typical average human being with a kind of spoiled attitude about it.
Yeah, I think Dunphy, you're super right. And at least just so you don't feel bad, like Weight Watchers bought a doctor's clinic, so they're able to recommend Ozempic. And Jenny Craig went bankrupt because everyone is taking Ozempic. So you're not alone. Like this is a huge problem. So just maybe that'll make you feel better or worse. I don't know, but
if they're popping up in California, but like literally right down the road, all these injectable places are now popping up here where you can go and get shots weekly for I guess it's like
really?
generic Ozempic for like weight loss. They just put it in the paper today, and now women start going on the black market because they can't get on into these places. It's
is that a separate? Oh, sorry, Pauline. Is that a separate place, like a legit? Wow.
Yeah,
So, yes.
and it's not FDA approved. They just
right.
and they're not even coming for them to like,
Hello, guys. I'm
sorry.
here. No, don't worry. Paul is the one who picks up because he's obsessed with Ozempic. So, so here's the thing. This is what I mean. The distraction thing. You are all doing what the herd is doing. Oh, here's the new diet. Hey, we're gonna do, and everyone's focused on this, and then we're gonna talk about the drama about the Ozempic. Oh, it's nothing new, guys. It's the same after another. The people are lazy by nature. It's what we are. We just want to be more than basic human. We want to be beyond human. And that's the fighter warrior spirit, the mentality, why it's called fighter. You think it's going to be easy? No. But you can do it with a happy mode, and you want to know, you're expecting to fight for what you want, and that's to take ownership and self-respect. So that's what you teach. That's what we condition our culture online together. This is what we kind of sign up for, is what we care about. We don't care about shaming our bodies and kind of then say, oh, this is not good enough. I have to cut off the skin because apparently I'm not going to be good enough without that. We don't care about that because we care about health and happiness beyond all others in the world. So this is just where I have to kind of like, you got to focus on the positive. Stop looking at what is bad. Stop looking at what people do that is bad. Stop paying attention to people choose that is bad. Focus on what we do that is great. Focus on teaching people, give them a nice tip. Focus on the positive. Stop going down in the negative to see everything, because that is not me. So I'm trying to keep everyone, align your mind, stay focused on what you eat today and how you train, and stop caring about everyone else. Yeah.
Well, one positive recommendation is to really reinforce that, like with Fighter Diet, you build your body too, right? You change the composition, right? You don't just lose weight, but you get whatever you want, nice biceps or a nice butt or nice arms or whatever, but you strengthen your body and you shape it. So Ozempic won't do that. So
No, and for those who wonder about Ozempic, so Ozempic is a peptide, so they're gonna inject. So now you're on a medication you're gonna be until you die, and the medication is supposed to suppress appetite and regulate glucose. It does everything that can only do with eating healthy and taking care of your body. But people don't want to do it. They want to keep on their junk life and then rape the body with a drug. That's what they do. So do you think I support that? No, because I talk to your bodies, including mine, and I'm just saying your body doesn't want that. It's not in your interest. And doctors just do it because doctors are human, just like everyone else, and they don't have. Being a doctor doesn't mean that you're smart or intelligent. It just means that you have your work and you know what to do. And if the world tells you this is what we tell people, your audience right now is what you should do, that's what they do. They have a policy. It's like it works like that. So the peptide then, where I say don't even think about it. It's like you are going to have a lot of money spent on an injection. 2, do you want to increase pancreatic cancer? It's really aggressive cancer. That's what is a side effect of that. You don't need this peptide. It's not a miracle. And even if you can suppress your appetite, you know what's going to happen after you suppress your appetite? It's going to upregulate. You're going to have a massive appetite and end up in the same, I can't stop myself from eating and regaining. It's the same as a gastric bypass surgery. People get fat again after they lost it because they can find a way to eat small but high calorie and exceed the calories it needs to stay the same and gain weight. So you're going to be able to do that with Ozempic too. I can't wait to see, not for the people, but how that kind of slaps people back to reality again to see, oh man, it was just another daydream. Most people are going to spend their whole life looking for the pill and never make it. But we just realize reality, we do what we do, and we are smart, and we are street smart of fitness life. That's why we do it. That's why we love to eat, and we love to eat, and we want to eat. So if you don't want to eat, you're not going to be my favorite person, that's for sure. We have a few minutes left, so I want to make sure if there are questions, I don't take over. Good questions, not bad.
well, Michelle, you lost a lot of Michelle Serda. If you want to share something, because I know you lost a lot of weight. We recently podcasted with you.
Yeah, like for like what Elise was talking about, her clients. I was that person always looking for the quick fix and jumping from one thing to the next, getting a little bit of results and then falling backwards and then jumping a little bit forward, then falling really far back. And at some point it gets tiring. So fighter diet, because everybody's hungry, even if they don't want to admit it. Everybody's hungry, and they're looking for the like fighter diet, the plan that where you can eat, you can indulge and be happy and work out and lift weights and just live your life, constantly evolving and changing. But they don't know it's out there, and they don't believe it exists because it almost sounds too good to be true. But like Pauline's saying, show them before and afters, us. Because I know other diet programs that I've done before, the before and afters, if you look at that fine print, it says results not typical. We don't have any of that in ours because it is typical. If you follow the plan, if you do what you say you're going to do and you put your ass to work, you're going to get the results. So we don't have to have that disclaimer at the bottom of our photos.
Oh, such a good. And I want to say, here's the task, and everyone's witness, because Pavel is an artist, just like me, a creator. I can tell him what to do because he has to want to do it. It sucks. But we need a reel with a good kind of music and show the testimonials of before and current to show our lifestyle one after one after one, and have that as a reel, as a delivery that we can put to everyone. Here is it. This is typical. You're going to have that. Great idea, Michelle. And that is Pavel. We need that kind. And that kind of.
We actually do have one of those reels, but that's okay.
Yeah. So Pavel, there you have your assignment. Make all the nice work with your editing so it fits a reel, not a square. Okay. So then I'll put it on my reels and all stuff. Oh, awesome. All right. What else? Anything we need question from anyone else? Anything else, Elise? How's the training going?
So the training's going great. I'm actually on my deload right now because I always like to start my week on a Sunday. So today was my first day. I just went out for a walk, stretched, foam rolled, everything. However, I have to thank you about the pobo and adding the vegetables to everything, because I have never looked forward to eating as I do when I come home. And I'm throwing loads of cauliflower rice in my bowl, and I am obsessed. It is so delicious. I don't know if anybody else here is doing it, but like cauliflower, broccoli slaw, anything. I just throw it all in that chocolate bowl. It is amazing. And
Well,
everybody thinks
Michelle
it's
is
disgusting, but it's good.
We go
Michelle-
through a different kind of our food loves, and then we have something else. I remember your kabocha was something that you put in. I'm like, oh, yeah, that sounds like me. So the most important thing is to always be in love with what we eat and not allow ourselves to be bored, because when boredom strikes, that's when we cheat. And that's what people do in a relationship. And that's the same related with food, except for food doesn't give you kind of guilt the same way as cheating on someone else. Women have no problem just stabbing themselves in the back all the time, because apparently the player, the one you are hurting, isn't important enough. That's the number one thing I'm trying to change with all my women, that to put yourself on the top number one place. And when women and my clients hear that, they're like, no, I can't do that. It's almost like they're like, whoa, how selfish are you? I'm like, no, you don't understand. You have let everyone else have priority. That's why you're unhappy, unhealthy, and have given everyone else their attention. They have never done that for you. They're never going to do it for you. And it's not their role. It's your responsibility to make yourself happy in fitness life. So that's the big thing, my big way of being a coach. That is my all out. I want people to be happy and lean. Not get lean and lose the happiness, because then you have lost everything. And that is, I'm going to say, in my life, and Pavel can guarantee, because he's been with me since almost like start, that my life was number one was to make myself happy and to be able to do what I love to do. And that's it. I refused to have a regular job and not eating up. I just had to find a way how to do it. And that's Fighterdiet. So for that, I say thank you for this first ever Fighterdiet Academy. I'm just so grateful that you could listen to me so long. So the last 2 minutes, for anyone who wants to say anything, let me know. Pavel?
No, this is fantastic. Oh, yeah, no, this is fantastic. I just want to say we're fighting behaviors. Just like people don't think that Michelle Serda gets her results from Uscreen, which she does. People think they need to do 10 reps and 3 sets. And so we're fighting people's behaviors, and Pauline speaks about this all the time. So it's always great to reinforce it so we feel strong, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I must say, about working with people in general, to have like a summary of this, the resistance to want to learn. We know that people do not like to relearn. They like to know, even though it hasn't made them succeed. It's about this mentality that I like to know it all. I don't need to know anything. And I want to kind of do the same I've always done. And I want you to sign off on it, Pauline, to Fighterdiet, but it's not Fighterdiet. But I want you to say it. And people want a book. They don't want to have done the book, don't want to read a book, but there's a reason why people collect libraries, right? Same thing here. So just know, this is natural. Everyone is going to be like that. It's really a lot of resistance to evolve. Why do you think very few people meditate? Because it takes the same work. And you can't rush it. Why do you think people don't do medical testing the way they should, and they just kind of deny? Because it requires you to be real. That's what we're working with. So we just want to do it in an inviting way. So instead of telling people, you should do this, you need to do this. No, look, we just present, this is what you can do that we love to do. We spread the love so people get addicted. When you show the love and you live it, Alexa, stop. That is how you can get through. And we just have to do it to show. So we get the before and current. Here's another story showing the same thing. When we have become enough people, it's a critical mass. Now there's going to be traction. That's what you're building, the uphill battle. And I'm streaming uphill, so swim uphill. So I'm all in for life. Guys, thank you so much for this meeting. I just hit shut up, right? And then I'm done here.
Yeah, you just leave the meeting. It's being recorded, so yeah.
I just don't want to mess up. Okay, thank you so much. This was like in my first ever, so I'm so happy.
Yeah,
Adios.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.